And now, here's the rest of our conversation with Twilight Lord Ninja Nate discussing his latest game, Stranger Tales.
So it's a card game, and the idea is
walk us through it. Yeah.
To 88 cards, and the original concept came from going to these like burner meetups at Tangent Gallery, right? And just everyone who walks in, you hand them a card. We've done this at conventions. We did the DCG Con 2 that Rob Bruce put on in Denver, Colorado. Everyone who came to the con got 3 cards. So it's nice. And the idea is that you go to other people who have cards, or anybody, and you just do a rock, paper, scissors to see who gets the card. But you're swapping stories. Every card is simply an image. It's just an image.
Can you show some examples?
Yeah, so I've got a deck here, and I'll pull one randomly. All right, so this is a large wooden hammer that is poised over an egg that's in a ditch. So it's a hammer about to break an egg, right? So there's action in this scene. There's an egg that's something about to be broken, a hammer. And the idea is that this is a Rorschach sort of thing. It's going to spur a memory, something in your life that happened, that is something to do with that. So it's a story, a memory, a 1 minute memory. So in the game, you share a memory with a person. So at a con, you would rock, paper, scissors, and you would share a memory based on this. Somebody else share a memory. Somebody would take the card, and that's the game.
So how did you come up with the images?
All these images are actually CC0 copyright, right? So they are completely royalty-free and completely without attribution or anything else. They're online. In fact, if you go through that, you might have seen one of these images before. Well, they're out there, right? Again, I had no time. I had no money, no budget. You know, I'm not hiring any kind of artist. They're all photographs. They're all just things that evoke some sort of memory or some sort of story, right?
So you went through essentially just a bunch of clip art.
Yeah.
Just to
Clip
find
photos.
something but you're like, hey, this is weird and random enough and contextless enough that, like a Rorschach test, could inspire something in the subconscious to emerge.
Yeah. Every image had
I love it.
several different entry points. So, for instance, we've got a spiral of a chapel looking up towards light. It's all these stained glass images, and it's beautiful, that sort of thing. So that could be evocative of any number of experiences, right?
Now, is ZZ Top directly affiliated?
We're working on sponsorship. Hopefully we can get them on the show, etc. So that's the idea behind the game, is that it's just sort of like it's an icebreaker at conventions or at events like this, at house parties, etc. You're walking up to people and you're sharing stories. And the biggest outroll we had out of it was at DCG Con 2. We had 700 people. The people are outside smoking, right? And they're playing the game. And it decreases the anonymity of the event. Because you go to some of the, like, people, you don't know people, etc. But like this game created an impetus, an icebreaker to walk up to anybody. You can walk up to anybody and be like, "Are you playing the game? Do you want to play?" Whatever.
Created connections with people.
Awesome. And then all of a sudden, it's like, "Oh, there's that guy that told me the story. He almost blew his nuts off with firecrackers." Blah blah blah. That's a real story that happened.
He was there.
Yeah, he was there. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, like, people more than you would have. And then there's a brain chemistry effect that happens when you are in an environment of which people who are people that you don't code as strangers, as danger, as like, I'm going to be restricted. If you're in a bunch of strangers, you're sort of like holding yourself tight, and you're sort of like, interacting, reacting to people, et cetera, et cetera.
But the irony of a con is you've got a group of people that absolutely have everything in common.
Yeah,
they're all socially awkward is one of the things that they all have in common.
Right. Yes.
But they also love games. They also love games, so you give them a game that makes them connect with each other, and you've solved a problem nobody else knew how to solve.
Yeah,
it's much better than dressing up like furries.
There's
nothing wrong
with
that
either.
either.
On anybody's radar, but it's a catalyst, and it sort of like brings people together. So I look at it as a sequel to Morton's List in a sense, because Morton's List generates experiences. It generates stories. Oh my God, this one time I played Morton's List, we went to Chicago and we had a street party with a costume. That's something that might be triggered when you look at this boombox, card 66.
We brought boombox.
Right, there you go.
Party.
Right, I just did this randomly.
How crazy that you just drew that.
Right. So there's synchronicities and all
So you
sort of
look at
magic
the
in it.
image and you just talk about whatever comes to mind.
Yeah. A story from your life. It's a real story. It's not you're making something up, because that's hard. You make something up, like that's not fun. But it's just like memory that comes to play. But I'd love if you all both would love to draw a card and just
Absolutely.
maybe share
100%.
experience of what it reminds you of.
Your aleatoric reality.
Oh. So this is an interesting image, number 50 here.
All right, what do you see in that image?
So this looks like it's someplace in New York City, probably near Times Square, but not in Times Square, and the NYPD. I have never had any. Okay, I you know what? I know what story I'm going to tell from this. So the last time I was in New York City, I went to interview at Google. It was kind of a Hail Mary pass, but they were interested in me, and I don't know if the job would have paid enough for me to live in New York City, kind of thing. But if Google asked you to come in for an interview, you go have a conversation.
Yeah.
And plus, they paid for me to go to New York, and I hadn't been back to New York in some time. And it was funny because my strongest memory of that trip was when I was trying to take the subway back to the airport. And I was generally unimpressed with the city because the problem I had was nobody had a New York accent anymore. Nobody lived there anymore. It was just a transitive state. And everybody had the same TV language. So I moved here when I was 19 to Ann Arbor and moved into TV is what it literally felt like. Like my experience in New York had its own culture to it, and there were strong accents and strong familial bonds that were pervasive in the way someone represented themselves, and that was mostly came across in an accent. And then I moved here, and that all went away. I learned about racism, which is something I'd never experienced before.
Right, yeah. Great area, no doubt.
No, I mean, it was just, it was the subtlety of it, too. Like the overlying convenience of racism. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, there's like white spaces, black spaces, weird shit going on around here. Yeah.
But no black people.
Yeah.
But there was still this racism thing that existed that was just so absurd to me. Because half of my friends in New York were black.
Yeah, it's such a mixing pot in New York.
I hung out with a bunch of black metalheads. Like my best friend in New York we used to practice our death metal that we were writing in a Baptist church that his grandfather ran. And anyway, so that's so back to my point. Sorry, I found myself standing in a subway station for like an hour and not wanting to leave and just feeling really comfortable. I'm like, well, it doesn't smell like piss, which is what my memory of subway stations was from my childhood. And why am I saying? And I realized there was one cop that had a thick New York accent that was just yelling at everybody, trying to direct them up the stairs or down the stairs or whatever. And it was so comforting to me that I literally stood there for like an hour and a half, just off to the side so he wouldn't shuffle me. But I needed to feel the comfort of that accent. It sounds really weird, but
that's physiological at that point. That's amazing.
Yeah. So like I had been in like the World Trade Center's gone. Went back to all the neighborhoods that I used to go to. They were all different now. There was no more dancing chicken, no tic-tac-toe chicken in Chinatown. The world, it was just such a different place than I recall from my childhood. That I was very conflicted. It was very disturbing because my memories were so vivid from this special magical place that I used to go to all the time during my childhood, and I go back and it's not there anymore. The shadow of it's there, the shell of it's there, but the basis of it isn't there. And so I find myself standing, listening to a New York cop shout obscenities at people. Get the fuck up there. What the fuck are you doing? Hey, no. Come on, man. No. You know you can't do that. Turn around. Get up the stairs. If you need to come back in the other way, fuck you. Whatever. I don't care. Move along. Come on, let's go. It was like a lullaby.
Yeah. Nice.
That's great, man.
Beautiful story. All right. Man, I don't know what to do with mine because I got this card that has like those foil-backed blister packs with pills in it, and there's some text on it that I can't really make out much of, but I see the word drugs in a larger font size.
And some blood? Is that blood?
Well, it's just like kind of orange and weird. I'm going to post a photo so our listeners can see it. I took a picture of all the cards we drew. And so for me, like at this point in my life, other than the sugar and caffeine that I'm on right now, I'm straight edge. And so I kind of don't want to tell like a drug story because I don't want to kind of glorify that. But I mean, it's a huge part of who I am because I did a lot of psychedelics. I did a lot of pot for a long time. The thing that came to mind when I saw this, which isn't really a story, but just like what went into quitting for me, which for me, I think that quitting pot had a much bigger impact than quitting it. I quit both and I'm happy about it. But what went into that was I thought if I kind of had the same thing that Andy Looney did, where I felt because I was a creative, I was doing a lot of puppet shows and writing music and performing and doing all this stuff, and I thought that pot made me more creative. But then I thought, like, what is the base me? Like if I'm using this to enhance, like I'm becoming more creative, or I'm being different.
What are you enhancing?
Yeah, right.
Right. Well, like how do I? If I'm just like high and drunk all the time, how do I even know who I am?
Well, and you know
Right.
what's funny? You say that because I think a lot of people use drugs or alcohol as a permission. So here's my note. I'm allowed to like act like an asshole. Guess what? I'm actually an asshole. But I don't want you to know that. But because I have a permission slip,
Right. So I guess what I've learned is that I'm an asshole fine by myself. I don't need alcohol to make me an asshole.
but that's what I love.
That
about
wasn't
you.
really a story. Though.
Well,
You know
but
what's-
it's deep and it's personal, and that's what the game
Yeah.
is about. You know,
All right,
you
great.
shared something personal about your personal experience, and that is 100% what this is about. It's about
See, that's
making
funny.
personal connections.
That's so funny to
Excellent.
me because I've known you a while now, and I knew you when you still drank and so. But I never thought of you as a crutchman. I never experienced that about you. I always felt
Yeah.
you were a very creative, like-minded individual. It always surprised me when you did go sober. I mean, it wasn't a problem or anything, but it didn't seem necessary.
Well, that to me was more like I don't have a crash and burn story about alcohol. It was just like for me it was a like looking at the future. Like I don't want to get dementia early. I want to keep my brain healthy. Like I have dementia in my family. It was and I pretty much drank 2 drinks a day for years, but I wasn't like going out of control. But those 2 drinks occupied way more of my mental day to day than I realized until when I quit. That's when I realized how much I was just thinking about it. Like, is it 5 o'clock yet? Is it okay to do it? Is there going to be alcohol where we're going, or do I need to make sure and have a drink first? And it was more for me, not like that I was like an out of control alcoholic or anything, just that like it was just all this effort that I don't need.
Yeah.
I don't need to think
The
about. I don't need to
headspace.
think
Especially
about
if there's
it
no
anymore.
benefit to it,
Yeah.
if it's not required. Like for
Yeah.
me, I do very much enjoy drinking. I see it as a vacation. But I only drink on the weekends. I do not touch a drop or no temptation, never a problem. During the week, never. Friday night, Saturday night, excessive.
Yeah. Well, for me, it was partly self-medicating anxiety, and the weird thing about that is that alcohol, if you want to talk about the neurochemistry of it, alcohol actually causes stress and anxiety, but in a delayed fashion.
Yes, right.
It gives you the illusion of relief, but makes it worse later.
Yes.
So for me, it was just it's
I mean, I
the
love
right decision for me. I don't preach to anybody because it's not like
Sure.
it's not the right decision for everybody. It was just right for me.
Mm-hmm.
But anyhow, do you want to draw a card and give us a story of your own?
Oh, very well.
Yeah.
You know, it just brings things up that you're not expecting.
Shit that you never have
Yeah.
a reason to talk about.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
just out of the blue. It's random reality. It's just kind of like
That's what I love about this
myself,
podcast.
yeah.
There's so many things that I've revealed and talked about on this in life experiences that I've never had any reason to talk about.
Yeah, exactly. We've gotten deep on all kinds of stuff tonight. You know, it's great. So the card I drew was card 54. It shows the torso of a skeleton grasping on to a prison bar. So it's in theory like a skeleton that is behind prison, in a prison somehow. So that reminds me of a lot of things. I guess the thing that's coming to mind is the night I spent in jail in Rhode Island. Because while I was on tour with ICP, Bring Back the Juggalos for this one. And, mostly it's just a workaday thing and you're just working your ass off. I was selling merch on the road as a merch guy. So, hell yeah to all the merch people out there, It's a thankless job. But ICP was selling merch beyond belief. Like, just insane merch. So this job was hard as fuck.
They have great merch.
Yeah,
I mean,
dude.
that's one of the huge things about that band.
Man, the
that's
merch.
pervasive is just the quality. First of all, the quality of merch,
Yeah.
and the diversity of merch. Like they knew their audience,
Yeah.
and they always charge.
Oh,
like
yeah.
Morton's List, they charge a
They
premium.
charge a premium for it. Well, in fact, the jersey that Misha is wearing now, which is a beautiful jersey from the Morton's List Kickstarter, showing the new I'm Neutral icon.
Which I rolled
Neutrality.
for. It's not the one I would have picked, but I rolled for which
Of course,
symbol to get.
of course.
Yeah.
And so this is the same athletic company that does a lot of psychopathic jerseys as well.
How does that align? Is that neutral or is that chaotic neutral?
I think it's pure neutral.
true
Pure
neutral. Yeah.
Mhm.
Because little known fact, the 9 prime table correspond D&D alignments.
Yes, there was a lot of a D&D influence for sure.
You were telling us
D&D
about you were telling us about being in jail in Rhode Island.
So the Carter is a skeleton with the jail. And long story short, we were at a strip club in Rhode Island in which they have to wear pasties. Something, there's certain rules. When you travel the country on tour, you see like in Utah, you have to order light beer and it has to be before midnight, but you can stack up a bunch of beers that you can drink later. Weird rules about sexuality
Bottle
and beers.
service.
Yeah,
Bottle service is
just
weird.
strange
Yeah.
stuff.
Yep.
So in Rhode Island, okay, fine. So we come back to the hotel with the tour bus, and there's 2 buses: the artist bus and the worker. That's how it works. Artist bus was already back there. Worker bus shows up. We're about to go to sleep. We're all in underwear, we're done, And all of a sudden, somebody runs on the bus. Oh shit! There's a fight! Everybody off the bus! Everybody off the bus! We all run out there, like, what's going on? There's a hotel room. There was kids that were like hound dogging us earlier. They were kind of like aggro about getting an autograph or some bullshit earlier. And somehow it escalated when we weren't there. And there's this crazy shit in which like people are battering down the hotel door. People are getting like hit and like violence is happening. And I'm the nerdiest dude I've ever.
So you guys didn't
never
have that
done a
layer
party.
between where you were and where you were going.
I mean, it was just a motel in Rhode Island.
You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of times bands will do that. Is there's a layer of obscurance between the venue and the destination where they stay.
Yeah.
and they make sure that it's very hard to breach.
Yes, and that was happening, but it was breached. It happens, right?
fair
Like
enough.
people just drive around to whatever.
have
You
fans
see
that
the
are
bus,
so-
right? You drive around until you
so
see the bus,
obsessive.
and like you can figure it out. So somebody had figured it out.
Wait, were you trying to be like covert in a band in a van or a huge bus covered with fucking insane?
Yeah, the
clowns
buses
and
were
shit?
wrapped. Yeah. It wasn't hard to find. It
That's
wasn't hard to
just
find.
fucking
Yeah.
stupid. You should have misnomer wrapped them as like
Right, Journey,
some
or whatever.
church.
Right, parrot heads. But no, the Juggalos they found us pretty easily, and so
Because they have eyes.
it was wild. So like, people were getting beat. It was wild, and I'm just like, I'm a lover. I'm not a fighter. I've been no fighting ability. I've never thrown a punch. So like this happening. So
Never?
no, I've never punched anybody in my entire life. It's wild. Yeah.
It's a good
I
thing.
really tried to be a nice guy. But I'm thrown into the situation. What's happening? So like all of a sudden, across the street and down a gully and on top of a building, there's another one of these kids, and he's like gesturing and yelling and stuff. What's going on? So I'm like, oh, I can be helpful because I'm a little bit drunk in there, and a little bit like tipsy from the strip bar and all that stuff. And I'm like, I'll go across the street and deal with that kid. I don't know what I'm gonna deal with. I don't know what I'm gonna do because I'm a nerd.
But I found my mission.
But I have a mission. I actually had clothes on. But other people were in the underwear for sure. So me and Squeaky Mike,
Wait, why were the people in their underwear?
we're about to go to bed. This is
okay.
like
Oh, gotcha.
end of the night.
Sorry.
We're at 2 a.m. Everyone's closed down, but somehow there's this huge thing going on. So I run across the street, and Squeaky Mike, he's this fucking sound guy, roadie guy, from Portland. He's like, I'll hook you on the building. He's talking like that. Everyone had their own impersonation of Squeaky Mike. Mine's not the greatest. Some people nailed him so hard, it was great. But he was just like he looked like Slash, he actually played Slash in a wrestling promo thing, So he just looked like this old rocker, curly haired guy. And he's like, oh, I'll help you on the building. So he boosts me up on top of the building. I'm on the building. There's this kid, an 18-year-old Rhode Island punk, who's just up there. And I'm drunk as fuck. So I'm just like, I got to punk him out, I guess. So I'm just like, what's up? And I start punking him, I'm a glass tiger, paper tiger. Like, I got nothing. If he came at me, I got nothing.
Your Glass Joe.
No way, yeah. Glass Joe from fucking Mike Tyson Punch-Out. For sure. For sure. And so he gets scared because I'm coming at him, you know? So he runs off the building. I'm like, great. I'm king of the world, you know? This is awesome. The cops show up. I have no sense to run because I'm a white kid from Detroit. I don't understand that the cops aren't my friends.
And you've done nothing wrong.
Yeah, that's the problem. That's the problem. I know I did nothing wrong. The cops don't give a fuck about that. They're trying to pin somebody for what wrong had happened.
And they've got some kind of like, our state is small.
There
like-
might have been some Rhode Island big dickery happening. I don't know.
State envy.
The license plate does say the Ocean State, and I'm just saying the ocean is the biggest thing in the world. So there might be some compensation happening. I'm just saying that's what the license plate says.
That's where I was leading you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
So anyways, I got arrested and I spent a night in jail because of that. But I'm still drunk, so I'm just like, I'm in jail. I've never been in jail before. This is
not
great.
fun to
Speaker
be in
Mike is like,
jail.
shut up, dude.
Experience.
Shut up, dude. This is not cool. I'm like, and finally it wore off, and I'm on the concrete block and that fucking stuff. And then the next day they're like,
They don't turn the light off.
no, it was torture. You're on a concrete block. You have nothing to sleep on. In the morning they showed up with some Burger King. I was a vegetarian, and I was just like, I can't even eat this. I was squeaky Mike. Let me ninja this to the next cell over. You get my
One
Big
of the most
McMuffin or whatever,
important facts about jail and prison or whatever is sleep deprivation is such a huge factor.
It's
If you're
inhumane.
if you're in the drunk tank, the light doesn't go off. You don't get a blanket. You are on, and I don't know how I know this.
Yeah, that gets
but-
you disoriented and compliant. It's
Exactly.
It's a brainwashing tactic. for sure, yeah.
Absolutely, and it's not without their merit. Like they understand why they're
sure they
doing
do.
it.
Yeah, it's torture.
But even in prison, where you do have lights out and whatever, there's such an awareness of the proximity and every fucking nuance of every noise in that fight or flight.
yeah,
I mean,
sympathetic
everybody's
nervous system
amped up on death. You know,
all
it's
the
just
time.
like, yeah.
I don't want to live there.
No. So my brief one night with the legal system was enough. I was like, fuck that. They marched us down to the courthouse the next morning, you know? And then all of a sudden you're in front of a judge, and you're just like, you're a public attorney person. She met us in the hallway.
What were you?
like-
What were you charged with?
We were charged with 3 counts. What was it? Battery, entry, violent assaults. You know, whatever. Like the damage that happened.
Did these things happen?
Yeah, it did happen for other people that we probably knew who they were, but I didn't see it happen, and I definitely
But
didn't.
how
do
could they
it.
charge you with it without witnessing you doing it?
Oh, the people who were accosted positively ID'd me and Squeaky Mike and this other guy who was in his underwear as the people who committed it because they had no other option because everyone else ran away. So they're like, yeah, well, these people are here. So yeah, they did it. They're part of the people who did it. Yes, I worked for the company who did it. Yes, but I had no hand in doing anything. But you're caught up in the legal system, you know? And as a white guy who has all the privilege in the world, you're like, what the fuck? This is not right, you know? So I'm in front of the judge, and they're like, how do you plead? And I'm like, I got no legal advice. I don't even know what's happening. I don't know. And then they're like, did you do it or not? And I said, I didn't do it. That's the God's honest truth. I didn't do it.
No, you had not spoken to an attorney at this point. You were
2
just up
seconds in the
front.
hallway. 2 seconds in the hallway. She was just like, blah, 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 you know, there's the judge. And I was like, okay.
What did she advise you?
I think she said plead no contest. Probably, right? And that was the true plea, you know, plead no contest. Like, I'm guilty, but like, I'm not going to worry about it. And like, they'll just slap me on the wrist or kind of thing. But I pleaded not guilty, which is what you should never do because that creates a trial. All of a sudden, now you have to go back to Rhode Island in the middle of a blizzard in January.
Did you have to?
I
do
did. We all had to fly
Wow.
back. The company dimed, psychopathic paid to go back, you know. And we had to go up there, and they had an attorney and all this kind of shit. I still want my mugshot from that. God damn it, I want
So
mugshot.
had you pled no contest,
It
would
all
have
been
just
over, even a year probation. But I was like, listen, I could be in another situation in a year that I have also have no fault in, and there could be a
Right.
murder next to me. Like, I'm not gonna be on the hook for this
Because
shit.
if you're on
Fuck
probation,
you,
then
you know?
you are already
Yes.
a criminal.
Yeah.
guilty.
You're a
Yeah.
registered criminal for 1 year. If you do any other crimes, then they come at you with everything.
It probably
Yeah,
would have been
yeah.
fine, but I was just a idealistic kid. I was like,
No,
fuck
you're
you.
right.
I didn't do it.
I agree.
Fuck
I
you.
would have done this. I would have probably done the same thing. Yeah.
So that's my jail experience. It was 1 night in jail. It's not too bad. Never again. Never again. Oh,
You were only arrested that once.
yeah, apprehended, arrested, whatever, but only
Detained.
jail only once.
Yeah,
but I did
jail
learn that you
once.
can bail yourself out on a credit card. Because they're like,
Really?
do you have any money? I'm like, I have no fucking money. And I was like, I got a credit card. And they're like, yeah, that's fine. So they're like, oh, we can post bail on a credit card. I was like, oh, let's get the fuck out of here.
What year is
It was
this?
great. It was Rhode Island 99. 9 probably.
Wow,
yeah.
that was
Yeah.
I never knew of that option.
Right.
I've been arrested twice.
I've only ever been detained in
Both times
question.
for
I've never been.
public nudity involving a farm animal.
You're full of baloney, man.
No. Once was for drunk driving, and once was for possession of marijuana with intent to sell, which was bullshit.
Intent to
That was-
consume.
Well, no. So I won't tell the whole story because I don't want to drag this in any longer. But I was 16 in New York. I was supposed to go see Indiana Jones and the Garden of Infinity or whatever the fuck it was called. And we went to go get high beforehand. And it's a weird story that's very long. And I'll tell it some other time if you remind me. But yeah, but that was my first experience with being arrested. That was just odd. Being arrested is really weird. It's really just such a nonsensical experience. Like both times I've been arrested, which were both one of actually without the second arrest I would have never met Misha.
It's true. Wow. All right.
That one was fortuitous.
Although I question this because of Jason Pargin, because he had this thing, I think I forwarded it to you, where he was saying that like there's this, because we have so many cameras nowadays, everybody has cameras, that they're starting to notice that people were in the same place at the same time years before they actually interacted. And one of the examples was from the 70s where this woman and her fiance were in the same photo in Disneyland, but he was in the back in a stroller at like 6 months old, and she was up front waving, and he's like, oh shit, that's me. That's my dad. I know that shirt. I know that shirt. That's my dad. And like, that is so, it's really interesting to me. And it's something I'd like to look more into, but it's kind of anecdotal anyway, but about the circles that bring us together. And like, I am positive, like, I know you have stories of meeting me before I remember meeting you.
Well, I don't specifically remember. I mean, I feel like I'm just constructing those memories based on. I know for sure because I used to go to the Elbow Room a lot.
Right,
You were the
and I
sound
met
man there.
a lot of people.
Yeah, so I have no doubt that we met
Uh-huh.
before we became friends.
But we never interacted
Yeah.
really.
Unless it was me asking you for some unreasonable thing when I was performing on the stage, and you were like, "Fuck this cock monkey." That's probably what happened.
I mean, it was just so many things went through, like being a sound guy and also doing all the booking. You have to deal with so many people. It's impossible to remember everybody. And I drink.
True that. All right, well, Ninja Nate, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on the show. Thank you so much for being here. Let's do it again sometime.
Yes. I'm very much looking forward to working with you guys and spurring the development of this podcast. I just feel I'm a big podcast guy. You know, I listen to podcasts every day, and this is by far my favorite podcast. I am biased. I'm going to put my biases out there. But, man, you guys are just killing it. And it is a true honor in my life to be here tonight. And I hope to do it again soon because, seriously, what you guys are doing are awesome. And I know that you'll reach those people who are into the randomness, who are into this, what randomness can do, you know, the doors it can open, the experiences, the life, the bliss, the excitement that is unleashed by just being a little bit open, just opening a little bit. And you guys are doing that. Appreciate it so much. Thank you. Pleasure.
Well, random reality can make everything better.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, the biggest part of all of this, and I didn't start here, but I think where I've come with this is it's about letting go. Whatever that means, it's just about letting go. And when you let go, you have a better time.
Right.
That's it.
Summed it up.
All right.
I love it. That's it, brother.
All right. Definitely a two-parter. I think I got a little into the sauce there at the end.
That does happen. When you're interviewing somebody on a Saturday night at 11 p.m., it can get out to be a little bit of a party vibe.
Yeah. But no, Nate's great. I'm glad I met him. I'm glad we did that interview. I ended up hanging out with him a lot afterwards. Went to Origins with him.
Well, that's why you went to Origins, because he invited you and hooked you up with the place to stay and everything.
Yeah, no, that's awesome,
So-
and it's been a good get. I'm sure there'll be a lot more of Nate on the podcast.
Yeah, we definitely want to do more stuff with him because he, like, I think a lot of people, you talk about Morton's list, you talk about random reality, you talk about, making decisions with dice, and they kind of think, oh, hey, that's a neat or like idea or whatever, but it's in Nathan's bones.
Mm-hmm.
He's just like, I mean, he's a Twilight Lord.
Yes.
And he seems really down with the show, and I would love to do more stuff with him, and I'm sure we will.
Yes,
So more-
absolutely.
Hopefully you will have some of that coming your way soon. So we need a listener challenge.
I have a listener challenge for you.
Okay.
I think we should make a list right now on the show of moonshots, achievable, semi, like in
Moonshots aren't meant
intra-atmosphere
like-
moonshots.
If you're tempering your idea of moonshot, it's not a moonshot.
No, but there's a difference between celebrity and reality.
Oh, like you're talking about how I messaged Johnny Depp's publicist.
I didn't even know about that one. You sent Snoop Dogg one too.
I did. I tried to contact Snoop Dogg. I tried to contact Johnny Depp, who a bunch of people. The only response I got was I actually did get a response from Johnny Depp's publicist, and he just said, "This is my personal account. Contact me through work." So that's not a no, but I'm sure if I contact
You get his personal
work-
account.
what's that?
How did you end up contacting his personal account?
It was just his Instagram. It was like his.
Oh,
just easily
I see.
findable. But I'm sure that if I went through channels, it's going to be Mr. Depp requires a $50,000 honorarium to appear on a podcast, and that it's going to be I'm going to get a
Yeah.
contract basically.
Yeah, no, that's not.
And we
I'm
don't
not
have
talking
that
about
kind of-
those.
We don't have that kind of scratch to get guests, so
And
we need moonshots.
I really don't
that
have
won't
any
cost us money.
desire. I have no desire to do those kind of interviews.
I do.
You're talking to I don't know. I'm talking about people. So anyway, I think we should put together a quick list of let's say, which we have made similar lists in the past, but I think we should do one and roll on it, and you have to contact them.
We're gonna do it. We're gonna roll on it. I'm gonna contact them, but also you listeners, because this is a listener challenge, right? You
Yep.
listeners are gonna get at them through Twitter or whatever. It's X now. Everybody knows what you mean when you say Twitter.
I love
But
it.
we want our listeners to also say, "Hey, you should go on your aleatoric reality." That's the challenge. So who are our people gonna be?
Well, I know who my first one is, and I think you know who my.
It better not be Dan Harmon because we already tried that.
Nope, it's not actually.
Who is it?
Although I'm mad at Dan Harmon because he's not really reachable. But the first one is Steve Jackson.
Steve Jackson. Yes, we should get him on the show.
I think that's an achievable reach.
Okay.
It'll also make for a nice. We'll have a collection of really cool game creators on the show. I think that should be a goal of the show.
Yeah, I support that. That's a solid choice. We need 5 more choices, or 3 if we're gonna roll a 4-sider.
Let me see. Hold on. Let me pull up the old list. Let me see.
What about like
Oh, you
I don't know, like I'm trying to think of a D-list celebrity, like Steve-O. We could try to get Steve-O on the show.
What about Wesley? What about Wesley Crusher? Is he
Will
available?
Wheaton?
Yeah. Is that too high? I don't think he does anything anymore, does
That might be too high, but he's worth putting on the list. I'm gonna put Steve-O too.
he? Really? Okay.
Why
He does
not?
a lot of. Okay, no, that's fine.
I mean, he
No,
does a
yeah.
lot of podcasts. He probably
He
gets
does.
too many invites.
Mm-hmm. That's kind of what I was thinking. Is he's kind of doing, and he's really trying to be like a stand-up comedian now.
Uh-huh.
And also, I don't know what is random about Steve-O.
Oh, they don't have to personally be involved with randomness in any way. We're like the randomness is from us. We ask them random questions.
Gotcha.
So we could have anybody. We could have Johnny Depp on the show and just ask him random questions.
No, but I think there's.
Would you
probably
rather
some
be a sea
random-
slug or a land slug?
Right.
The question is that you won't get asked. See, that to me, that is the potential draw of a celebrity, is that we're gonna ask you questions that because they go on press junkets and they ask this same stupid questions over and over and over and over again. We're gonna ask you questions nobody has ever asked you before. Guaranteed.
Let's see. Now, see, Spencer Crittenden.
I'll put him on the list.
I've already messaged him once.
Oh, really?
He was Dan Harmon's dungeon master.
Well, then
on
we
the
need to
Harmontown.
get our listeners,
Yeah.
message him and say, hey, go on this show.
How many more do we need?
2 more.
Okay, well, we have to put on Robert Evans.
From Behind the Bastards.
Yep.
Okay. That's a moonshot, but we can contact.
Is it? I don't know. I think if you got in touch with him, he'd be pretty chill. And Jason Pargin.
He's too much of a moonshot, I think.
Really?
Yeah. He's a TikTok celebrity. In addition to being a great author, he's also now a TikTok celebrity.
I don't think he's too high off.
Well, I mean, we've also already tried contacting him.
Oh, have we?
Yeah.
Oh, never.
I mean, I'll if he comes up, we'll get focused with it. Try to find
Grant
out
Morrison.
publicist. I'll contact his publisher.
Do it.
Yeah.
Do it. Does
All
he
right.
have, yeah, he has to have a publisher, obviously.
Do you want to roll or you want me to roll?
What is it, 6?
I just think Jason Pargin's going to come with an honorarium request.
Really?
For sure.
That would make me so sad.
Well, we'll give it, let's give him the benefit of the doubt. We'll try, ramp up our efforts, see what happens.
I'm an old school Cracked fan. I want
Yeah,
to talk to
I mean,
this guy.
he made Cracked, single-handedly made Cracked great.
Him and Robert Evans did, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, because Robert Evans brought hey, I'm not writing articles that aren't researched. We're not publishing articles that aren't citationed.
Right.
And they're like, we're a comedy website. He's like, that's what makes it better.
Yeah,
it's
I
all
don't even
truth.
think of Robert Evans as having anything to do with comedy. I just think of him as like a meticulously researched journalist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But his slant is where his humor lies.
Right.
All right. So anyway,
It would be great to have on the show. Do you want to
You
roll?
gotta-
Or you want me to roll?
I got a 2.
You got a 2. That's Will Wheaton.
Okay.
All right. Well, listeners, your challenge is to message Will Wheaton on X or Instagram or wherever you find all of his socials and tell him to go on Your Alliatoric Reality, and hopefully we'll have that interview coming for you sometime in the future.
Yeah, right on.
That'd be fun. All right. Well, thanks for listening, and keep in touch, and don't forget to swamp Will Wheaton with your request for him to come on our show.
Yep.
Lateration.
Maybe we need to contact David Wong instead of Jason Pargin.
He doesn't do Wong anymore.
I know. I'm just kidding.